So if we could, small substitution and just have the first presentation from Marwan Hassan Al Khatib from the International Investments of Dubai Group in Dubai.
Well, thank you very much. Actually, it's not a presentation. It will be more of a share of thoughts, I would say. And basically, we've listened a lot about lots of things which has to do with the challenges with respect to the banking industry. I will be talking about, I'll try to be as quick as possible and as short as possible, about the way forward. I mean, the dream for the Islamic banking industry. And probably what I will be saying is not meant at all to discourage all the hard efforts that are being undertaken, you know, in the different parts of the world, rather than telling you what are basically our aspirations for the industry. I think for the Islamic banking industry, in order to be very much strong in its presence and very competitive in its value proposition to the current, you know, conventional banking system, there are certain key things that really needs to be reflected in reality in order for the people, not only the Muslim, even the non-Muslim, to be really looking at something different. And this differentiation comes basically when we look at the Islamic banking model itself. This is the thing which I think that maybe down the road, not now, maybe in 5, 10, 15 years from now, that needs to be challenged. For me, basically, I'm looking forward for the day whereby that the central bank does not guarantee the deposits for the depositors and the Islamic banks. I'm looking forward for the day where the depositors would say for the Islamic banks, no, I do not accept you giving me 3-4% as a return on my deposit. Why you, as a bank, is achieving a return on equity of 16 to 20%, while you're just giving me, you know, 3-4% return on my investment. And I look also forward for the day whereby there will be a clear willingness from the depositors to deposit their money, and where they are 100% aware and willing and accepting that they may lose their entire money. Because this is the objective. The objective is to have an institution in the middle who has the trust, the qualifications, you know, the resources to bring those who have the money and those who have ideas or opportunities and projects together. And that, you know, institution in the middle, which is supposed to be called the Islamic Bank, is the institution whereby he will have the best systems, the best talents, you know, to manage the money for the depositors. I mean, for example, the bank might say, okay, we have the healthcare sector, the real estate sector, you know, the food industry. These are the risks, these are the expected returns, and it will be the decision of the investor or the depositor where to keep his money. So there will be then an actual sharing of risk and return. And then we will be really different compared to the conventional, you know, financial system. Because at the moment, with all my respect to whatever has been said or what is really being discussed, you know, in different sessions, in reality, this is not really the case. I mean, the Islamic banks are still giving rates on their deposits equivalent to the market rate. Even if they make, you know, some good money, they create this account in their balance sheet, which they call profit equalization reserve. So from that reserve, in the bad days, they will, you know, if they do not make, you know, good money or good profit in a certain year, they will take from that reserve and pay the depositors in order to match the market. So all these kind of things, you know, needs really to change in order for us to have an Islamic, a real Islamic banking industry. And once we have that, then there, based on a right sharing and actual and fair sharing of profit and loss, and everybody is willing really to contribute to the society and the economy, whereby the money will be really used in projects by passing the money from the depositors to the people who have the ideas or the projects, rather than still looking at the money as a commodity. But because what's happening right now is that the Islamic banks are still selling money. They are not selling, you know, projects or ideas or acting as an, you know, intermediary between the depositors or supposedly the investors. And they are still under the umbrella of so many international laws and regulations like Basel, you know, to Basel III, which does not really apply to the nature of this particular industry and the objective behind it. So this would require a strong political will in the different Islamic countries in order to achieve the same. And it is, the Islamic banking system is only part of a big system. You have to activate the role of the zakah. For example, in the zakah, one of the masarif of the zakah, or the way you should spend the zakah, is basically to support those who are in debt. So, for example, when the depositor is giving the money through the bank to one entrepreneur, things went wrong, this guy is in debt now, then we can activate part of the zakah to support this person in debt and consequently supporting the banking industry. For example, the central bank should not guarantee the deposits. For example, why not to give opportunity to the takaful companies and the re-takaful companies to come and provide some sort of insurance solution for these projects, so if something goes wrong, they step in and, support that project through this insurance, structure or scheme or whatever is the case. In this case, then the bank is not guaranteeing the deposit and the central bank is not interfering into this mechanism. Thank you very much.